I was at a networking event earlier this morning, and I love educating about how solar is can play a very beneficial part in our financial literacy education. But then every once in a while, someone will ask, typically in the trades, roofer, electrician, or flooring professional, and they'll ask, so what is the lifespan of a solar panel, or what is the lifespan of a battery these days? And so I was equating it to something like this, where you have like a battery backup with solar integrated. And I was explaining that, so basically as close, as similar as they are in the conceptual nature of the technology, they're light years apart in capabilities, in efficiencies, in just the overall benefits of a battery backup versus something like a smaller power bank. So anyway, the reason why I wanted to jump on and talk today was I was actually, so once I got back home, I was flipping through and just kind of I was just kind of going through some news articles and whatnot, and I came across this one that I thought was really kind of interesting. I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow at my personal BNI group, but this right here I thought was pretty cool. So this is an article in a website called PV Magazine, photovoltaic magazine, if you couldn't guess already. And let's see if that is, yeah, perfect. So this was an article that they wrote actually just this morning. So there's a Tokyo-based startup that went in and repowered, keyword, keep that in the back of your mind, repowered Japan's oldest photovoltaic system. Now, this technology is really old, right? I mean, 1993, we're talking about 33, 34 years old at this point, almost 35 years old. And no, let's see, 93, 2003, yeah, 30 years old. Anyway, so it says the project aimed to partially replace the original 13% efficient solar modules, and then offering an alternative to dismantling and recycling. But without going into all of the nuts and bolts of the article, I wanted to show a couple of things that I thought was kind of interesting. So first and foremost, that right there, an power conversion efficiency of 13%. To put that in perspective, the panels that we use today are around 22 to 25%. More commercial, can get a little bit higher than that, but that's about the highest that we have on the market today. But then an inverter at 95 kilowatts, a 95 kilowatt inverter for a 100 kilowatt array. And so they go into this and they bring up a lot of good points. So they refurbish the system rather than recycling components. It's a practical way for PV systems that have seen their tariff expire in the coming years. And then they talk about is the first attempt to aim for 50 years of PV system operation. So this brought up another good point that I wanted to make, was a lot of talking about the lifespan. So I went in and I did a quick Google search and share my screen to something else. I'll bring up another slide. I'm going to flip through a couple of these, but I did another search here on just generic search, how long do modern solar panels last? And so the average is about 25. The average lifespan is about 25 to 30 years old. Well, when I started, just to kind of give you a testament to how quickly this technology is expanding. When I first got started, almost 3 years ago, that average was about 20 years, 20 to 25. So it's consistently growing. It's consistently getting longer. And so, as you can see, most reputable manufacturers are offering a production warranty for 25 years or more. And what that means is it's not that the materials, the metal and the glass and the silicon will hold up, but more so that it will produce a certain standard for 25 years or more. So it's not just the fact that it's going to stay on your roof for that long, it's going to be longer than that. But a production warranty means that it's going to create at minimum this amount of electricity for 25 years or more. And then, of course, and so, going down through here, you can see the DOE has an article, Architectural Digest has an article, GreenBiz, Solar Reviews, Market Watch. And one thing that I noticed is you can see 25 to 30 years, 25 to 30 years, 20, according to the SEIA, solar panels last between 20 and 30 years. Some well-made panels may even last up to 40, and on and on and on. And so that kind of gives you a good peace of mind that these panels on residential, and again, commercial lasts even longer, but on residential, they're seeing that type of lifespan. So I thought that was really kind of cool that's the, just again, don't listen to me. That's the facts. That's, what the research and what the industry standard is these days. So there's that. And then one of them in particular, I wanted to go into before I go back to that main article, was this one right here talking about Market Watch. So this right here was kind of cool that they put together this guide, and you can put in your quote, you can see quotes, you're going to get a lot of phone calls because they're going to sell this data. But if you want a quote, you can come ask me. I'm essentially a solar broker where I can go out and I can get 2, 3, 4 different types of quotes depending on your needs, depending on your situation, depending on if you want to buy versus lease versus a PPA. I can show all of those different options without having to, risk getting bombarded by phone calls, but I digress. So looking at this, one of the things that I also wanted to show was this right here. So those solar panels won't simply stop working after 25 years. Their power production and efficiency will decline, meaning they'll be less effective at converting the sun's energy into power for your home. This decline in effectiveness is known as the solar panel degradation rate. Okay. And so they go into, the NREL, the average degradation rate is 0.5% per year, meaning that if you've had your panels for 4 years, your energy production will be 2% less than when you installed them. And after 20 years, your energy production will be 10% less than when you got your panels. But I want to show something real quick, because while that is important to consider, one thing that I want to show is this right here, specifically for the panels that we use. So one of the panels that we use is called Anwa Q-Cell. And Anwa is, just speaking frankly, fully transparent, Anwa is a South Korean company that makes highly highly quality panels with a Q cell. So the Q cell model is essentially a German design that they have either licensed. I think it's either licensed or yeah. So the company is headquartered in Seoul, South Korea, after being founded in '99 in Bitterfeld, Wolfen, Germany, where the company still has its engineering offices. With that being said, this right here is where we get our panels from. So they have a Cartersville factory. So it's looking to be, let's see. Okay, so it was launched in April. And then they also have one in Dalton, Georgia as well. And these things, I mean, they spit these things out. But again, wanted to show you Anwa Q cell degradation. So this right here, let's see. I know you saw this up here at the top, but I wanted to find, there was one specific one. Around, is this the one? This is their latest and greatest. So this is what they look like now, just in case you were interested. But I wanted to show, where is it? Up to 22.5% efficiency. Temperatures negative 40 degrees up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. So they can withstand some temperature. 25-year product, 25-year performance. At least 85. Yeah, so there you go. So at least over 90% of nominal power up to 25 years. Okay. And so there's that one. And there's a number of different models. Again, they have these, different models out there at different prices and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, and the reason I wanted to bring this up was because I've heard these, sometimes I like to compare these solar panels, the way that they look to the modern day TV. And it's true. Like you can see, like that looks pretty close to a TV, right? Like how that looks right there. But yeah, this is a good shot. So it's like a bunch of flat screen TVs that are put together in an array. And you have other ones with the white lines and everything. Not all of them have to look like that, but if you are peculiar about the aesthetics of it, that's how it can look. And so, I got to thinking about it, about the degradation of these panels, and I was like, well, yes, flat screen TVs are getting cheaper. I mean, you can get a 98 or 100-inch TV for like $700 now, right? They used to be like $5,000 if you wanted to go that big. But not everyone is going out and replacing their TV all the time. They're staying more efficient longer. They use less electricity. And so the fact of the matter is that's the same way with these. So between what I was sharing with the with regards to the system in Japan about the recycling and being able to essentially refurbish this system, they go in and talk about the microinverters and how they were able to replace some of the wiring and replace some of the inverters versus just replacing the whole kit and caboodle. That is going to become more prevalent with existing systems and already happens these days versus just versus going and replacing the whole entire system. Like you wouldn't replace your TV after like 2 years. You know, you're going to use it and you're going to, you know, some people even carry them from house to house. And you can do that with solar panels if you like as well. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. And so I wanted to jump on and share. If you have questions about that, there's a website you can go to with more information, solar.dreamlifeinnovations.com. You can download an ebook that goes into and deep dives. I try and keep it updated as much as possible. But if you have questions, if you want to see a quote, feel free to shoot me a message. And if you just, you know, want to see what the technology is doing, I love having conversations around that as well. So that's about all I have. I didn't want to be on here too very long, but I wanted to get you the information so that you at least have it. And if you have something specific that you want me to touch on, feel free to drop it. You know, drop a question in the comments or message me directly. But until then, I hope y'all have a great Tuesday, and I will talk to y'all soon.